I don't think there's any other way to call it but harsh. And look at Stuart Law. He's sitting next to Gyanendra Malla. And I think everyone's trying to establish what's happened. And then on the flip side of that, if we can take a pan across here and look at the Dutch camp, well, they're just kind of sitting pretty. Heino Kuhn saying, oh, I'll get my tan on here because my batters, I'm the batting coach, are going to have to chase 10 runs less.
I think shell-shocked is the right word. That's just suddenly how it feels around the ground here. Maybe just that confusion as well. But for the two who are out in the middle, karankc and Sheikh as well, they've just got to get on with it and try and put it out of their minds, focus on these last 9 overs. Van Meekeren still has 4 to bowl as well, so they've got enough challenges in front of them out in the middle. But yeah, a bit of confusion. How do we keep getting these things, Lenny? These situations.
Paul Van Meekeren has been recalled. He's got 4 left. They're going to have to go after him, use the pace on the ball to try and get something going here. Netherlands, well, they're always very professional. They're always very effective, and they're desperate for a victory. You talk about this league and how important every match is. And there's a bit of spice in this fixture. All of a sudden, the two countries share very warm relations. Of course, Netherlands have hosted Nepal before. I'm not sure whether or not we've ever seen this called in international cricket before once in an innings. I think it definitely has never been called twice before in the one innings. But I'm trying to ascertain as to whether or not this particular 5 there's obviously been penalty runs called plenty in international cricket. I'm trying to ascertain whether or not for a batter or a group of batters running down the pitch, as this is edged away down to deep third for a single, whether it's ever been called in an international before. I'll tell you one thing for certain. I know what the column inches are going to be written about back in Kathmandu and Lalitpur and Pokhara tomorrow, because this will be a real controversy.
Suddenly how it feels around the ground as he...
Look, I'm trying to ascertain. Short ball ducked under by karankc. Nepal, they just look at... They do look shell-shocked, don't they? They look like they don't know how they can come back from this.
Well, they've just got to try to put it out of their minds. Now, interestingly, my goodness, wouldn't you know it? I found an instance. Just been looking for a time when a team has been penalised 10 runs, and I've written the article. It's on Cricinfo. It was.
You remember that, Mel?
Vaguely, it's coming back to me.
Coming back to you there.
It was in Providence. It was during the women's T20 World Cup in 2018. Yes.
And I thought that was. I do remember that now in the women's T20 World Cup, and it was incredibly harsh.
It was 2 incidents. The umpire had issued 3 warnings to the batters when Pakistan were batting, and so India started their chase on 10 for none. It is coming back to me. I wasn't.
It's brilliant that you've written the article. How good is that? Couldn't write that. Now, is that too short? No. KC ducks underneath it. He's not happy with the umpire's decision. He says it's over his head height position. Now, was this too short? Just the 1 run from the 42nd over. Nepal might not have the time to get over their shell shock. They're being blown away here. 171 for 6. Now, was this too short? Was that over the... Marginal again. Very, very close call. Nepal won't be happy with the way things are going for them, that's for sure.
So, Lenny, one thing that I noted at the bottom of this article was that the The Pakistan batters involved also face the possibility of further penalties from the match referee.
I think that's if it would have been deemed to be deliberate. Because then you come under the code of conduct for, bringing the game into disrepute. Single from Arif Sheikh. Yeah, definitely a hard one for us to understand and a hard one for us to explain. Hopefully we've done that. If you do have your opinions on it, we'd love to hear them. Use that hashtag CWCL2. Van der Merwe grunts with aggression. Or you can get in touch with us directly. Andrew Leonard here with you. I'm at Cricket Badge on Twitter and Instagram. Mel Farrell at Melinda Farrell on Twitter. Melinda SM Farrell on Instagram. Do send in your messages. Tell us where you're watching from. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you think it was very much justified and the umpires needed to step in. Were Nepal trying to, in some way, potentially rough the pitch up for their spinners that they'll have in the second innings? Do you think it was lost in translation? Do you think that the batters understood that they were on a warning collectively? Remarkable to have seen it once, but to see it twice in the same innings, well, quite extraordinary. Dutch are going to start at 10 for none. As this is edged away, no slip in place. Casey won't be able to get the second. Kyle Klein does well. And it means that if Nepal get 240, Netherlands will only need 230. Edged away, no slip.
With the some of the close finishes we've had in this round of matches, that could be hugely significant. More than that is any lingering effect it might have.
Well, they've got to put it behind them somehow, and find a way to just kind of get over it.
Well, that's the first bit of business they have to take care of.
Thanks to Santosh, it seems as though it's Bashir Ahmed who's been the kind of the culprit here, because Santosh says that he feels that a warning was given to Bashir on the first ball that he faced. So if that is the case, then obviously all of that byplay, we missed that. Try and go back and have a look. 43 have been bowled, 176 for 6. Van der Merwe economical as ever. But yeah, do get in touch, because there's a lot of messages coming in, as we would have expected, to let us know what you think. Use that hashtag CWCL2. I hope we've captured the correct implementation and wording of the laws. I think we have. And yeah, one that will be discussed very, very widely, not just here today on this coverage, but you'd suspect both during and after the game. But for Nepal, they've got Arif Sheikh still out there. He's doing his business again. Oh. Sharp bouncer. Oh. I mean, what's this come off? Evasive action taken. Let's hope that Sheikh is okay. Most importantly, given his runs, might have hit the back of the bat.
Oh, that's good news if it has. First, I was worried he'd taken the blow on the body.
Yeah, back of the bat. The periscope was left up. And
goodness.
Time for him to get through for the single. He moves to 49. In amongst the kind of madness that we've been trying to focus on out there, Arif Sheikh has just continued to do what he does. As KC's trying to get some power together. Complete miss it, though, will fall safely. Just a single.
Well, and you mentioned karankc, and you think of the innings that he has played throughout this, and you suddenly look up and he's 5 off 13. So that does feel to me a little bit like everyone's just a bit shaken by what's happened, trying to understand it, and very difficult for them to put it out of their mind, but they have to. They've only got another 6.4 overs left to try and get some kind of defendable score. We're keeping in mind it's going to be 10 runs easier for the Netherlands to get to it.
In fairness to the umpires, that they have to implement the laws. That's their job. But it's their interpretation of them that maybe, particularly with what could easily be a language barrier issue, that there could have been a bit more, I guess.
Well, it's hard to say because we didn't see the warning given and we don't know when it was given.
I'm going back to look at it now to see if it is right. So the very first delivery that Bashir Ahmed faced was from Michael Levitt. Yeah, he's kind of run off to the right. Yeah, there's an immediate word. It's the very first ball.
Was that when he was prodding and pushing down the track?
50 for Arif Sheikh. Very well played again. Particularly when the going gets tough, the Iceman is the one that Nepal want out there. And Arif Sheikh, well, he's yet to make an ODI century, but the 27-year-old is yet again doing the business when his team really need it. His 9th ODI 50. It's come at a good clip too, off 67 deliveries, a fine innings, and one that Nepal have desperately needed.
Yeah, he's kept this chase going, has Arif Sheikh. Everyone else has found it much harder to get going. It's not been express pace, it's been a good pace. The way he's stayed out there and kept the score ticking.
Yeah, just the 4-4s in there. Yeah, if you are watching on ICC TV and you do want to go back and have a look yourself, you can. You can flick back to, it's the 32.2 overs gone. Levitt's coming round the wicket to Bashir Ahmed. I'm not saying he's got off the pitch particularly quickly, but it's really not. It's not like he's run straight down the middle. He's ended up well off the pitch. He probably could have got off a little quicker, but immediately you can see the umpire straight talking to Bashir Ahmed. Our camera then just came off it, and he's telling him very clearly to get off, as this one's slashed away. And slashed away for 4 by Arif Sheikh. He's got to 50. Can he start to cash in? Much needed boundary. 8 runs come from the 44th over. It's 184 for 6. Ended up being given as leg buys, that one, so maybe off the shoulder or something like that. Need a big last 6, don't they, Nepal, to really have any chance in this contest. We've been a bit kind of bemused and shell-shocked ourselves here in the commentary box. Appreciate you getting in touch. Yeah, you can look back, 32.2. It looks as though the first warning was given. We missed that at the time. And then since then, we've seen 2 5-over, 5-run penalties given. So the Netherlands will start at 10 for none in that second innings, meaning that karankc's big levers are much more desperately needed.
He's had a little bit of trouble trying to get going, which we haven't really seen in the other matches that he's played in.
Big full toss, well, that's going to help. Not a good delivery. And you can see karankc almost jumping, like leapfrogging out of the way after the shot to make sure he doesn't suffer the same fate. It's a good stroke, slashed away for 4 as a rather forlorn looking Vivian Kingman, not in the 11 today, helps out.
Yeah, that one was a real loosener, wasn't it? An absolute gift. Now, can that spark something for Nepal as they head into these final overs? They really need it.
Need a big over, don't they?
Yeah.
Not just a sort of 8 or 9. They need something to just swing the momentum immediately. One other piece of background news from the Dutch camp. The reason Vikramjit Singh is out, he's actually been laid low with an illness. Again, with the weather we've had for the last 8-9 days, probably not too surprising. He's actually not even at the ground here today. That's why Wesley Baresi has kept his place, the 41-year-old veteran. Nepal fans, they've been a bit shell-shocked at the ground, haven't they? There's maybe 200 or so of them scattered around the venue today, and they are just trying to find their voice now and get Nepal going. Slashed away. Really good batting. Not a good delivery with third up in the circle, and too easy for Arif Sheikh. He'll get 4 more. Maybe a bit of momentum coming finally for Nepal.
Oh, they've needed this. They really have needed it. And this innings from Sheikh just gets better and better. It has been the glue holding together this Nepal effort here at Fort Hill. Just lean back and hands quickly through the ball. Lovely shot. Now they're starting to get a little louder, those fans.
Yeah, first over with 2 boundaries in it. Whipped into the leg side, protection out there. So with the fumble, it will allow a second, and there's already 11 from the over, and the Nepal fans starting to get on top of the opposition. Can the 12th player maybe drive some change in this contest? Nepal are going to have to dig deep, get gritty, get up to 240, 250 if they can somehow with a flying finish, and then find a way to defend that. Looks like it's going to be the best time of the day to bat. The sun is blazing down, almost a bit of June heat here for the first time in Dundee. Looks for the block hole better from Klein. And we'll close out a 12-run over, more like it for Nepal. They probably need 5 more of those, Mel, really, don't they? 45 bowled, 196 for 6.
Yeah, and then somewhere we're talking about them getting up to 250, and now it's just to get to 250.
I do feel desperately sorry for Bashir Ahmed. Completely hammered away, all the way. And just over the head of Teja Nidamanoru. Short ball from Van Meekeren. And Nepal, well, the 200 comes up in grand style. They'll never stop fighting, these young men. And the cardiac kids raising their pulses yet again.
Well, one person who isn't shell-shocked is Arif Sheikh. Takes on the short ball, takes it on beautifully. And he is determined to get his side up to a defendable score. Great stuff from Sheikh. He's actually really starting to motor on now.
Yeah, just getting confirmation from the scorers. The penalties awarded to the fielding side, 36.3, 39.2, both for batsmen running on the pitch, as well a gathering of looking into the bushes there to try and find the ball. Looks like a kid's school day is going on, or a sports day going on in the background. Lots of parents enjoying the action, and good work from the security guard who's managed to find that. All in a day's work for that gentleman. Thank you to him. And the ball has been found. Can Sheikh make this a big, big over? The 200's up.
And Meekeren opened the bowling earlier. It was a little bit expensive, but took 2 wickets.
Cut away, good hand, really good hand. I think he misjudged it, Noah Kroos, but adjusted well. He missed that. I think it would have raced to the rope.
In Nepal's favour, they have got a very well set and increasingly aggressive Arif Sheikh out there, and karankc. Now we know just how aggressive he can be. Just another 4.4 overs.
Just be the single this time. Yeah, can KC get one where he likes it? He struggles with the shorter ball. But if Van Meekeren gets one up in his half, KC is going to look down towards the clubhouse, down over long on. The Netherlands know that, though. They've done their research, so long on goes out. Mid-off will stay in the circle. Max O'Dowd out at long on with the extra bit of height there, so he takes Kyle Klein's place. Just a word from Max O'Dowd, don't go full. It will be from Paul Van Meekeren. Don't bowl full to karankc. Dug in, really good bouncer. Nothing wrong with that at all. Just not as proficient is he at hitting the shorter balls to the boundary.
Yeah, that was a good time for it as well. You saw the smile from him after talking to Max O'Dowd as well. Oh, it just feels funny, doesn't it? It feels this really strange feel about this innings now after that period of time. These two have done a pretty good job so far of pushing it out.
Bowls him. Great double bluff. The bouncer. And then KC not expecting the full ball. Van Meekeren has a third. Really good from him. KC's not going to be producing the batting heroics today. Arif Sheikh just running out of partners.
And the tail extended. He has varied his lengths brilliantly. Van Meekeren bowled the short one, followed it up full and straight. And that is the end of karankc for today. With the bat, we'll see him with the ball later. 11 off 19 will be his contribution to the total today. Very deep in his crease. And that's just the extra pace of Van Meekeren, well directed. 7th wicket to fall. Nepal now 203 for 7. With just one ball remaining in the 46th over.
Yeah, Nandan Yadav is not one to back down from a challenge. He's got a little bit of swagger to him. He's got all that experience playing grade cricket down in Australia. The schools don't come much tougher than that. And I would suspect he's going to look to be very aggressive here, try and impact this contest on his ODI debut. Firstly with the bat and then with the ball to follow. Just 24 years old. Gets a friendly wide down the leg side to start with. Not overly renowned for his batting domestically, but did make that 37 of just 14 deliveries, including 4 sixes against Kuwait in that quadrangular series final in Hong Kong, when it was him and Bashir Ahmed who nearly pulled off the unbelievable from 92 for 8, needing 175 to win. They got it down to the final over. Bashir Ahmed on strike, needing a boundary to win it, and they just came up short, lost by 3 runs. And Yadav will eventually get off the mark, just about, with a rather riskily run single. He'll keep the strike, and he has a first run in international cricket, in ODI international cricket, that is, as it's 205 for 7.
So it will be Roelof van der Merwe to bowl out his 10 overs. Hasn't taken a wicket yet. He's been pretty tidy. He's also been very vocal. Very passionate cricketer. And straight away with the appeal, there wasn't much conviction behind it.
Yeah, not sure that single was particularly well thought out by Arif Sheikh. Should really have been keeping the strike himself. Any momentum that Nepal had picked up kind of drifting away again. Will get the single, but again, Arif Sheikh encouraging Yadav for the second.
It's a strange running between the wickets all of a sudden. And get that they might want as many runs as possible, but you could have had Sheikh on strike for the start of the over, just controlling things, and now Yadav has to face again.
Nicely cut away. Won't take the second this time.
But so they don't take the second, and now there's only one ball left in the over. So what does Sheikh do here? Now does he take the single to get himself on strike for the next over? But you feel like they've just wasted about 3 or 4 balls there.
Sheikh will at least keep the strike, but it's only 4 runs from Van der Merwe's 10th. What a great spell from him. 10 overs, again wicketless, but just so effective. None for 37. And he is a huge asset for this Dutch side, even now into this winter of his international career. 47 ball, 209 for 7.
There's a word that often gets used, maybe a little bit too much when you, in particular, say when Australia and England are playing at each other and they look rattled. They look rattled, and often they're not particularly rattled, but I do feel like that's possibly an apt description for how Nepal have looked for certainly parts of this innings after that controversy, also because of the way that Netherlands have just cut off their main plan for scoring, which was herring up and down between the wickets. And the fact that there's been a penalty for that must play on their minds as well.
Sheikh is going to try and accelerate here as Dutt bowls his 10th in the 48th. He's been, well, close to unhittable, hasn't he? From memory, in that quadrangular series, Nandan Yadav was getting after the spinners. So can he find a way to get a couple of big ones? Nepal would, well, they really need a couple, don't they? They love 2 or 3 boundaries here from their number 9 batter. Only Sandeep Lamachani and Lalit Rajbanshi left after this. Just be the single. Arif Sheikh, not known as much of a 6-hitter. He's someone who kind of works the ball into strong areas for him. He's a very clever cricketer, but don't think he's going to necessarily be clearing the rope with much regularity. Only hit 9 sixes in his entire ODI career. Beats the outside edge. Dutt has been very effective today, hasn't he?
If they squeeze them earlier on with the fielding positions, they really are choking them right now, squeezing the life out of this innings. They need one big over, one good over.
Just be a single, hit down the ground, no real power or timing behind it.
Crowd out there trying to inspire and get behind their batters. Noise has been getting louder, but I don't know if that's going to do it for them. Yeah, you kind of want someone who is able to clear the rope or reach the rope to do that traditional batting with the tail type innings, control the strike, hit a couple of boundaries, and then on the 5th or 6th ball, just pat it down to long on for a single.
Tossed up and teasing. That could have been the one to get into the slot, but Sheikh misses out. Great set from Aryan Dutt. He's been exceptional again. 10 overs, 1 for 32 for him, and with 2 overs remaining, it's 213 for 7. Kyle Klein will bowl his 10th and final in the 49th. Yadav works it into the leg side, just a single. Now, what can Arif Sheikh do? The wind is not as strong, but should probably be the leg side that you'll think he'll target, hitting with that wind.
It has actually picked up a little bit through this innings, I've noticed, and the temperature's dropped a little bit. Just we've seen a bit more cloud cover coming across, as it's wont to do here in Broughty Ferry.
Pumped down the ground, but long on is in place. Should keep it to the 2. Oh, Dowd has to get down on hands and knees to make sure he does enough. Played well, hasn't he, Arif Sheikh?
I think he's played brilliantly, and it's easy to lose sight of with everything else going on there. But, I mean, it's been a crucial innings for Nepal with the wickets falling around him. He's been part of a few partnerships now. He just keeps losing his partners. But it's been a fine innings from Sheikh.
Hit back at Kyle Klein, but he can't get anything on it, and this might get all the way to the rope. Arif Sheikh, the Iceman. He tells me he loves that nickname. In the most difficult of circumstances, bizarre circumstances at points out there in this first innings, he's just doing what he does into the 70s now.
Well, he's also doing what we talked about in the previous over, in that he's controlling the strike. Gets on strike early and finds the boundary. If he can manage to do that again and then get himself down the other end, just keep him on strike.
Can he get the second this time? Probably not, as Lion Cachet has been electric in the field today. He's been really good. He keeps it to just 1. 220 up. Remember, though, that's virtually 210 for 7 because of the fact that there'll be 10 penalty runs in that second innings. You can already see social media lighting up in Nepal with lots of discussion and many talking about the second one being particularly harsh, which I think is something that we certainly felt. And a few giving out that the Dutch were appealing for it, you know, almost a little bit like in football when you see them asking for a yellow card for the opposition. Down the ground again. Max O'Dowd is at long on. He's in action once more. Enough time to get back for the second as Nandan Yadav doesn't look out of place out there in his first one-day international.
He's starting to settle in, actually. He's done well. Just keeping it ticking over. No dot balls so far in this over, with a ball to come.
Big appeal. Is that pad? No. And they turn down the single because Arif Sheikh wants the strike in the final over. Was there some bat involved? Just for the second time in the last 12 innings, Kyle Klein has been kept wicketless. He'll finish with none for 54.
Kyle Klein, whatever the umpire said to him, he blew out his cheeks in disbelief.
Well, I'll have to say, for me, that's out.
If that hasn't hit bat, and I think that's why he's blown his cheeks out in belief, because he's asked the umpire if there was any bat in it. That's the answer is no.
I don't think the bat's got near the ball here.
No.
Kyle Klein is saying, did you hit that? And Nandan Yadav, has he got outside the line? Angled in. I think that's out, Mel. For me, I was a bowler, though, so I'm always going to think it's out. Probably immaterial, really, in terms of the contest, because Arif Sheikh's going to keep the strike anyway, and they have 2 further wickets in hand. Paul van Meekeren to bowl the 50th and final. The Dutch, a bit unlucky there. They felt they should have had that one. Picked up into the leg side, and that's why Arif Sheikh is going to keep the strike. Clipped off his pads all the way for 6. What an innings we're witnessing. In amongst the carnage, in amongst the madness. He's holding firm yet again. He moves to 80. Maybe the shot of the innings.
I think it is. He did pick it up, enjoy the extra pace of Van Meekeren. You just allow that one to sit up. That's on the roof, Lenny. That's gone on the roof of the school next door. My goodness, that might be the biggest stroke we've seen all week. They might be waiting a while to find that one. You can see them trying to point it out. I think someone can see it. They can see it out there, but I don't know if they're going to be able to get to it.
Yeah, the reserve umpire, Ghazi from Bangladesh, has come on and given the box of balls to choose from. They've found an appropriate one, and Arif Sheikh will look to lose that one as well as he picks up a maximum. Noah Croce comes over with the cheat sheet, the notes of tips as to where to bowl to which batter. I think he's probably going to go shorter, isn't he? Surely. The shot that Arif Sheikh will maybe look at for the shorter ball, though, will be the cut. He might try to give himself room. And interestingly, the man at deep backward point isn't out. They have found the ball, so they'll end up having the same ball used. David McLean, the umpire, will check that. Flying finish here, bit of momentum to take in, and Nepal will just stay in this contest, but they're going to have it all to do. Remember that 229 for 7 is virtually 219 for 7 with the 10-run penalty to come in the second innings. What can Arif Sheikh muster in these final 5 balls? It is the short ball, and it's hooked away, and it's hooked away to the boundary. Really good shots. Not exactly where he intended it, but good intent, and the top edge, it flies to the rope. Maybe a bit too predictable from Paul van Meekeren.
Well, we suspected he'd go short, but that ball was on him so quickly. All he needed to do with the extra pace of Van Meekeren was just get bat on ball. This is a good start by Sheikh for the final over. How many more can he get from it?
Full toss, it's bowled him, and Sheikh wants a no ball. He's not going to get it. It's smashed into the top of middle stump. And in surreal circumstances, a marvellous innings will end. He's been bowled for 84. The two umpires had a look at each other. Was this over the waist height of him? Probably not quite. And he's missed out right on middle stump. He can't believe he's missed out, and it wasn't the greatest delivery. And it's going to end a marvellous innings, Mel.
Well, he's done a fine job. He's kept Nepal in the hunt for a decent and defendable score. Hung around, his partners came and went. Played some lovely strokes, strong on the cut shot. Was just accelerating things at the end there, but Sheikh departs on 84. Just as he was starting to accelerate, and to a ball, well, it was a full toss.
It's not a good delivery, but it's ended up being exactly what the Netherlands desperately needed. Here's the reason why it wasn't given as a no ball, just under the waist high. Remember, he's crouching a bit as he's trying to hit that shot too. So good decision. But it's not often you see it, well, basically close to the top of middle stump cannoned into on a full toss. And it being effective enough for a wicket. So 6-4 wicket action aplenty in this final over. Sandeep Lamachani will come to the crease. Chips it down the ground. Not quite enough to Max O'Dowd. All of the men in the deep square the wicket. They know that Lamachani probably not too fond of express pace. And it means Nandan Yadav will have 2 balls left to work with.
Lenny, forget Nepal. I'm rattled. I think you are too. We've both been rattled by the events of this innings. It's been a really strange one, hasn't it?
Yeah, definitely not something we expected coming here today. Just interesting that one fan did spot it over throughout the tournament. So not sure whether the umpires have had a word about it coming into today. Either way, Nepal won't be doing it again, you would imagine. As Yadav whips it into the leg side, but straight to deep mid-wicket. So just one delivery left. You sense Nepal, particularly with the 10 penalty runs, are well short of where they would like to be, and possibly well short of where they're going to need to be to have a real chance in this contest. Advantage to the Netherlands at the end of the first half, no doubt.
It is advantage to the Netherlands. You're right, Lenny. But as we keep saying everywhere, I'm not going to bite. You keep dangling that hook in front of me, and I'm not going to bite because I just know that there are very likely to be quite a few twists and turns to this game before we reach the end of it.
Final delivery of the first innings. Whipped into the leg side by Lamachani. They may as well try and take on the second, but I think Lamachani's going to be run out, well, by a mile. Good selflessness from Lamachani, attempting to get back for 2. You have nothing to lose. You may as well go for it, but he'll be run out for 2. It'll be 1 run to the total. And at the end of a very, very controversial first innings, Nepal will have to be satisfied with 236 for 9. That in essence is 226 runs on the board when the 10 penalty runs kick in the second innings.
Innings in terms of the strategy. There's a long...
It's underway. The only other time...
Levitt picks up the pull shot. It's a shot that he loves. Levitt, what a... Let's pick up the pull shot that Levitt favours and gets it very, very nice on show from the Nepali players in the outfield. Nicely played. It didn't actually bounce that much, so a bit of risk involved, but yeah, just about crept up. Goes straight up. Is this going to be the moment for Nandan Yadav? Max O'Dowd's already turned and walked off. Yadav celebrates. There's a bit of extra spice in the celebrations too from Nepal.
Well, he'd struggled against the opening bowling, and this has almost gone off the toe of the end of the bat. Straight up in the air. Through the shot a bit.
It is that way in which he hits. Just a sort of pick up pull shot. Not much of a follow through, not needed. Basically.
That's firmly swept. Is this going to be 4? Yes, it is. But it was in vain in the end.
Worked into the leg side. The restrictions still in place for 1 more over, and this is turning into a bit of his playing career. Big appeal. He's got it full. He's got it straight, and it is Lamachani who strikes in its first over.
Well, they certainly are, and it did feel like it might be the sort of day where he makes an...
Looks for the googly, pulled away and pulled for 4. Oh, it was such a good over up to that point, but Lamachani went under.
Hits.
Use of the feet down the track, it goes up into the air. Deep cover comes in, holds on. And Baresi's strength proves his downfall. Jubilant celebration, making that contribution, looking to go over, long off, doesn't get to the pitch, a little bit of turn on offer, and a good catch.
Yeah, well taken in spell of bowling.
Picked up and picks the gap. Great use of the crease from Scott Edwards. He's so good against spin. That wasn't that short. Googly out of the back of the hand. Has he got his man? Oh, yes, he has again. What a delivery from Sandeep Lamachani. If this is the reverse angle, but you can see there, that's the googly, and that's why he's not picked that.
Oh, Sandeep knew. He knew straight.
This is pulled and pulled with great conviction and pulled away and just helping himself. Pulled and pulled very convincingly. Just the 1 bounce, going to race for 4 with the 5 that he's used. Bowled him, and Edwards falls to the sweep. How heavily does that swing the game towards Nepal? And it's that one-handed sweep that he plays really well. Hasn't bounced. It's just kept low. Wickets column will be affected because of the wickets and the pressure, and it's Lamachani again. He is pumped up. Nidamanoru just never got settled out there. Rohitpoudel takes the catch. What a day he's having as captain. To go. The Netherlands, well, they're in deep trouble now. 6 down.
Huge trouble. Was an easy catch in the end.
Press me. Lots of pace on offer, but just losing his line. Pulled and pulled very firmly. It's going to go 1 bounce, as the Dutch will certainly keep on fighting.
Not there, but the kind of cricket we played surprised a lot of people.
Power pull from Noah Kroos. Been a few from karankc that have just sat up to be hit today.
To improve the skills of our cricketers, the red ball swings more. There's a lot.
Oh, beautiful drive, and Powdell and Bashir Ahmed almost run around it. I think Rohitpoudel thought it was Bashir running his eye line nicely. And that's going to help as well. That'll race all the way to the rope. The 3rd boundary of the over. Rohitpoudel might need
At our own premier tournament, sir.
Big
Looks very
appeal.
close. Fantastic
Gone.
from Kushal Bhurtel.
And Kushal Bhurtel has the breakthrough. Kroos went deep in his crease. He deserved this, isn't he? Kroos deep in his crease, gets trapped all right in front. It's going to go on and strike middle stump. It's an easy decision. Nepal haven't had many LBWs go in their favour. That's the third today from that end. Line's got to 15. And the shots are going to come out. Big shots like that one. Outstanding from Roelof van der Merwe. That's gone all the way for 6, I think. Might be just one bounce 4 in stroke, isn't it? This game is not over yet, Mel.
It's certainly not. And with a few more shots like that, little walk, pressure building already.
Pick-up shot, and it's a pick-up shot that's going to go all the way. Outstanding from Kyle Klein. Being promoted up the order to number 8. He's answering the call. In.
Well, unable to get the previous full toss away this time. It's kind of in the slot.
That cut away straight to the man who holds on. Very well judged. And Yadav has his second international wicket on his debut.
What a moment for the young man coming in on debut. It was short, it was wide. Tried to get the elevation with the wind, but there was not enough on it. And, well, with these Nepal players...
This Fernandan Yadav. He's hit towards Rohitpoudel, who takes the catch. And that's going to be all but that. And what a debut the young man is having. Always right. And Nandan Yadav, Nepal have unearthed a new star here.
Comes back into the bowling and gets 2 wickets because Rohitpoudel is never going to drop.
Again. This one's powered through the offside. A really good strike. Flies to the rope. The Dutch hanging about. Van Meekeren says this game is not over. Looks for a bit of innovation. That's going to be that. Nepal take a 3rd win from 4 in European conditions. Van Meekeren was trying to hit it with the wind. Arif Sheikh, fittingly, is the one that takes the catch after a career best for him with the bat. The Nepal fans are jubilant. Karankc, who's had the most brilliant series, has proved a little too good. A rather remarkable stroke to get out to. Arif Sheikh takes the catch and Nepal win.
Definitely.